How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yes. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody's doing well. I want to say welcome to all my newcomers. Welcome to the Everyday Vegan channel. And for all of my familia, all of my regulars, welcome back. All right. It is it was a beautiful day here in Atlanta. It was very sunny and nice, but it started raining. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad day because it's raining. Because my plants outside always appreciate a good rainfall. Because that is the best form of water your plants can get, rainwater. So if you have the facility or the containers to collect rainwater and you have plants, definitely collect the rainwater because your plants will thank you. They actually thrive with rainwater, so definitely make sure you collect that rainwater, and then wait a day or two once it's dry and it's really sunny and it's hot and you have that beautiful rainwater. Use that to water your plants. All right. And the reason I'm talking about my plants is because I was in for all of my regulars, my peeps, my fam. Let me turn this oil down. That I was in St. Lucia for a month, and while I was there, I my mom and we collected seeds. We collected really hot spicy pepper seeds, tomato seeds, snake plants, long beans. We collected a few things because the green thumb is it's what's up. So these beautiful, juicy looking tomatoes are actually seeds from tomatoes in St. Lucia. So right now on my terrace, I have two pots of tomato plants that are bearing between 10 to 15 tomatoes. And these are the first two I harvested. I picked them kind of early because I didn't want any birds to get to my juicy tomatoes before I did. And then that would make me really sad. So I picked them early and I'm having them sit on my counter so they can get nice and red and ripe and juicy and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, let's jump into today. All right. Now, this particular dish, I'm going to tell you, um, certain Asian restaurants, there's a dish, an appetizer called karage, right? Which is simply a battered chicken, right? Very crispy on the outside, and it comes on a bed of like cabbage. They'll do like purple cabbage and carrots, or they'll do green cabbage, white cabbage, and that's the base. And then they'll put this beautifully fried chicken on top of it, and they'll serve it. And I was like, me being plant-based, how do I replicate this dish? Because this is something that I really enjoyed when I ate meat, right? Poultry, seafood, blah, 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 etc. So I went to the farmer's market last week and I bought some beautiful oyster mushrooms, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And for the past, I'd say for the past 3 days, we've been making this particular dish. It came out so good that we made it again the next day and the next day. And then now today, I'm making it for you guys, right? Just because it came out so delicious. And believe it or not, it was so good that even sitting in the refrigerator, I cooked a whole batch. I even sent some to my sister and all. Like, that's how good it was. And my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, they called us and they're like, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" It was that good. So I made a big batch of it. I had some in the refrigerator. I took a piece out of the fridge and I just ate it cold, and it was still so flavorful, which was kind of shocking to me because I would never eat, like cold fried chicken or something like that. Like I just wouldn't do it. But this situation was the guy. So I'm going to show you how to do this today. I'm going to show you how I did it. All right. There are many ways you can do a battered mushroom dish. All right. So let's go over it. And oyster mushrooms are the perfect canvas for this particular type of dish because when you peel it, when you break it, it has the familiar, the familiar, the film. I can't even say the word. Forget that word. All right, it has the familiarity of chicken, right? So it peels the same way, it does that kind of thing. Whatever, whatever. Don't quote me on that. Don't you say the word. That's good. It's all good. Anyway, so oyster mushrooms are your best bet when it comes to doing a deep fried situation. The next one after that, I would say, if you can get your hands on, would be hen of the woods, all right? Or maitake. Same thing, different name, but same mushroom. All right, very similar to this, very earthy, very woody, but amazing texture when it comes to mushroom. It almost breaks off, right? It's that kind of a brittle mushroom, right? But when I tell you, it's just good. Anyway, my eyelashes, they're so long, they like curl into my eyes sometimes. Anyway, let me get my whisk. My oil is hot. I'm gonna turn it off for a second because I don't want it to get too hot. Because when we put in our batter, I don't want it to get too dark. I want it to really fry and crisp up. All right. And I'll tell you a quick tip, trick, hack as well. You can do this batter, dip your mushrooms in, put it into the fryer, and it'll be great. Or you can take it a step further, which I think is what we're gonna do because that's what we've been doing all week. So why not do the same thing? All right. So what you want to do is you want to get a separate container and you want to grab some Japanese panko. All right. Now my recipe is already attached to this stream, so you can follow this recipe to do the actual batter. This step right here is extra. It's gonna cost you. All right. So you're gonna have to pay attention and watch very carefully. But the good thing about it is that this video is going to be available for you to rewatch as many times as you want, so you will know exactly what to do, when to do, how to do, and what to do. You understand what I'm saying? You dig? Okay. So we're going to put about a cup of Japanese breadcrumbs, aka panko. All right. Let's do a little bit more because I want to make sure I have enough. We're going to just go with all of it. That's to show you how much I've been using this. Like, there wasn't that much left in the box. All right. Now, this is good. We're going to add to that a little bit of my smoky salt. This smoky salt is available if you're looking for a really amazing, really natural, all delicious tasting smoked salt. This salt is smoked with hickory, mesquite, and then mixed into that smoked paprika. So the smoke level is definitely top notch. All right. So it's called smoky salt and it is available on my website. This is something that I carry, right? One of my amazing inventions, if I do say so myself. All right. So a little bit of smoky salt in there. All right. We're going to give this a nice little mix. Let me grab a fork. By the way, I hope everybody's doing well today. All right. I hope you're doing amazing. If not, then I'm sending you lots of good vibes, lots of love, and I'm wishing you an amazing day. All right. So stick with me. By the end of this stream, you're going to be extra happy. You're going to be where you need to be. All right. So let's get the batter ready. So for the batter, we have flour, all-purpose flour. We have about a quarter cup of cornstarch. The cornstarch helps with the crunchiness. And then the Japanese breadcrumbs also helps with that situation. You dig? Okay. Next, we're going with about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. All right. In here, I have baking powder and salt. Right. Then I have some cayenne. Now you can omit your cayenne. If you don't like spicy, you don't need to do this step. I love heat. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Caribbean, so we like it spicy. You dig? So There's about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in there. Then in here, I have onion powder and garlic powder, 1 teaspoon each. You're gonna give this a nice mix so it's nice and even, right? Nice and even. You wanna mix this up first because if we don't and we add the water to this, we can create clumps of little pockets of seasoning, right? Which is not good. So we want to make sure that everything is evenly distributed. Okie dokie. You can use carbonated water or you can use really, your carbonated water should be ice cold. If you don't have access to carbonated water, then you can use just plain old ice cold water. That will work just fine. Okay? So let's switch this around here so you can kind of see what's going on. Giggity, giggity. All right. Now, your batter, you might be asking, Chef Ed, what should my batter look like? Well, you don't have to ask that question because if you follow the recipe, then you don't need to worry about that question. You know what I mean? But you want your batter to be thick enough where whatever you put in it coats and doesn't run off and disappear completely. All right? Okay. See the batter? Definitely, I would say it's about the consistency of pancake. Maybe a little bit looser. Slightly looser. All right? We're gonna just give that a minute so it can cool down and not cool down with temperature, but just kind of chill. So whatever lumps we didn't get to will you know, kind of disappear. It's thundering over here. I don't know if you can hear it, but outside it's looking very gray. Okay, so I like to use my scissors. I don't really want to use the knife for this. And we're just cutting out pieces. We don't want really massive pieces. You know, we want pieces that are like, you know, finger size to a certain extent. You know, so with your whole bouquet of oyster mushrooms, like look at this. Look how pretty this looks. Like, let me move this screen out of here. Yeah, that's better. You see that? Like, how pretty does that look? Right? So what you want to do is you want to get individual pieces like this. Like this is, you know, this size is great. It won't take long to cook. So it really depends on how your oyster mushrooms look, right? See? Beautiful, right? If it's curled up a lot, you're gonna have to do a little bit of work when you're frying it. So what I would do is I would just kind of split it in half. This way, once you drop it in the oil, it's gonna fry and it won't be a problem. All right? You don't want it too small and you definitely don't want it too big. Right? Yes. And the last big mama jamma right here. Like this is just a beautiful mushroom, right? So with this baby, of course, we're gonna split it. And you don't have to use scissors. You can just use your hands, break it in half, you know, but that's the idea, right? Now, you see right here, this part right here, this is unedible, all right, because that's where you get the mycelium, that's where you get the sawdust and all that stuff, you know, the wood chips. So it's very hard. You don't want that. You don't want to eat it, all right? So we would cut that out completely, right? We would get rid of that. But this piece here obviously is still good, so we can put that to the side. But this we get rid of, right? We don't need that. This complete thing right here is edible, right? So if you're doing like a stir fry, if you're doing a filling, then you can totally use this and just chop it up, all right? So we're gonna put this to the side because I'm always using my mushrooms for something. All right. Okay, let's get this oil back on. All right, not too hot. So we want to fry these. Once your oil is hot, we want to get the temperature down so it's about, so turn your flame to about medium flame. You want this to cook at a high heat, but not super high heat because you don't want it to get dark too quickly. All right, especially with using the Japanese breadcrumbs. Okay, so we want to be very mindful of that. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is let me get a plate. Okay, we're gonna get a tray to put our fried mushrooms on when they're done. Put that there. We'll get our, since we're using a saute pan and not an actual deep fryer, I won't use a spider. I'll get a slotted spoon. Boom. Right. Next up, we'll drop a few pieces in our batter. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, that's good. The rest of these, let me get a plate for it because we're gonna also get some herbs ready. All right. I love to garnish. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I have my parsley. I had it soaking in some ice cold water. All right, and we're gonna just run our knife through this. Any kind of scraps that I have, herbs, garlic scraps, onion scraps, ginger, I throw it into my fryer. So that way when I'm frying anything, it infuses the oil and it just becomes really delicious and amazing. All right. So I'm gonna use one of these. This one's clean. Actually, I'll just leave it on the board. So we're gonna just all right. That's done. Slide this over. Okay. Oil is hot. Let's drop in a piece of parsley stem. Yes. Okay. Let's switch the camera over. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's figure out this. Whoops, whoops. Okay. Look at that. What do we have here? All right. Let's do it. So our oil is ready. I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to take my stuff over here. Okay, so first things first, we are going to make sure our mushrooms are fully coated, right? And you want to make sure your batter is nice and cold. All right, so mushrooms are coated. 1 in, 2, 3. All right. Now we go from here. Yes, you can see. All right, you want to make sure that your breadcrumbs touches everywhere, and then you just put it in just like that. All right, very simple. You shake off the excess breadcrumbs that you have. You don't want this like fully packed and like over breaded or too much breadcrumbs, okay? You don't want too much batter on it either. Just enough to coat, okay? Super important. Otherwise, you end up with a very heavily breaded situation that, you know, is not the best. All right. Let's get some more in the batter, and you can see they're golden. They're turning golden already. So we're gonna have to flip those in about 10 seconds. All right, get these out of there. Boom. Let me rinse my hands. That's the only thing with making this Your hands do get a little messy, but the outcome is. My hands were wet. All right, so be careful with that. All right, you want to make sure that your hands completely dry before you lean into your oil. All right, but you see the outcome of that, right? It's just beautiful. Put that one in there. Put that there. Let's get the rest out. Super easy to make, very simple. And the cool thing about this is that you can change the flavor of this batter to just about anything you want, right? You can do an Asian batter, you can do Spanish, Italian flavor. I mean, you can really have fun. You know, it's super cool, but very delicious. All right, so I'm gonna just throw all these in here. Get this breaded up real nice. Let's rinse my hand and we'll take out the ones that are done. All right. Okay. One. I know you can see that this is gonna be some crunchy, delicious situation right here. All right. Let's flip these babies over. All right, and these are much lighter because the temperature of the oil have dropped, which is totally fine. All right, but you get the idea. Just make sure that when you're coating these, that your batter goes everywhere. All right. All right, last pieces. Okay. I'm gonna rinse my hands. So for all my plant-based people out there, my vegans, you're looking for something deep fried, and this, we literally made so many different dishes with this. We made sandwiches, we did it with pasta. I mean, the list goes on and on. It was super delicious. Like I'm not even gonna front. Like, look at this. Look at that. Right? See that? Amazing. Amazing. It's so good. And talk about crispy. All right, so we can put a little bit more in there. Okay, last one. Let's flip these out of there. Okay, let's flip these. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful girl. Okay, we're done. with our batter. Drying my hands. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's beautiful. Okay, almost. This one is ready. Always want to make sure that you have paper towels. So when you take these out of the fryer, out of your pan, you can rest them somewhere so you can drain off that excess oil. All right, super important. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up with kind of soggy, greasy, fried, whatever it is that you're frying. All right, so rule of thumb, have some paper towel ready to go because it is important. Okay, so you've seen enough of that frying. Let's move on to, we're gonna plate it up, right? We're gonna make you look a little sexy. All right, there we go. Just like that, like that, like that. Okay. Okay. Almost there, almost there. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are at the end of our live stream. Okay. Now it's time for the plate up. Okay. I have some beautifully sliced cabbage. I'm going to just put a little bit of that on the bottom. All right. This does a few things. One, it adds to the presentation. Two, it stops the fried objects from sliding all over the place, keeps them in place, it keeps them still. And three, it adds to the overall dish. You can eat everything together. So this is why I do this, okay? There's always a reason behind my madness. My madness, man. You don't know. Okay, oil's off. Look at these. Look at these. Like, come on. Look at these. They just look like some delicious fried something. You know what I mean? Whew. Let's put this over here. All right, let's bring this down a little bit more. Yeah, people. Like, I mean, it's impeccable. Now, you can have barbecue sauce ready to go, pour it over it, melt some butter, mix it up all together. You can do some Japanese sauce with this. You can do your version of a ranch. You can do anything that you would eat something deep fried with, you can totally do this with. You can turn these into some kind of Parmesan situation, right? Layer them out, put pasta, cover them in some tomato sauce, cheese, bake them. I mean, consider this your canvas. All right. So for the plate up, okay. Now, I just want you to hear the crispiness. Listen. Oh man. I'm done. Okay. So you just put some pieces on there. Big one, small one, it doesn't matter, right? We go with 4 pieces just like that. Like just real simple, real easy. and then you hit it with a little, whoo, right? Very simple. It looks simple, but trust me, when you taste it, game over. Game over. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. That's it. Very easy, very simple. Switch these cameras around. All right? I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, this was fun. It was super easy. It's very simple. You saw it right here, done live and direct, like we always do. There's no fluff. Okay. Um, yeah. Thank you so much. Make sure you click on the follow button so you can be alerted when we do all these amazing dishes and set schedules up. And for additional information, you can find me on all social media channels, even Threads with Chef Ed Harris. All right, that's me. Yeah, so until next time, I'll see you next week. I'm not sure. Actually, next week, you know what? I'm going to show you how to make a delicious. I think next week we're going to do some scallion oil. It's like a condiment that goes really well. Like you could put some of that on this. We're going to do something really cool next week, something Asian because I love Asian food. So, yeah, that's it, right? I think we're done. Thank you to all my fam, to all my peeps, to everybody coming back each and every week. Um, yeah, and please, if you have questions, if you find any of my dishes a little troublesome, which I highly doubt you will because I simplify them as much as possible. So it's really easy to follow the recipes, really easy to make. And the outcome is 99.99999% guaranteed. All right. So, yeah, if you do have any questions about anything, don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Hit me up right here. You can leave a comment or you can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever it is you hang out, YouTube even. And yeah, I will be sure to help you out and answer your questions. All right. I love you and I wish you an amazing weekend, and I will see you next time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be good to yourselves, eat well, cook well, and be well.